Good morning, Roleza.
Good morning, Ari.
Feeling the vibe in the studio this
Yeah, you
morning,
could have
boy.
even just run a little longer.
Savior, thanks for another day.
Man, I love that song.
Listen. You see this topic here?
Wait, now before we get into that, what was so glorious this morning? You felt that breeze I was blowing this morning. Like I found it extremely difficult to get out
Remember,
of bed.
we had the conversation. I don't take down my glass for nothing. So I
And
hop out my house straight down to the
I'm
studio.
talking about before getting into your vehicle.
I didn't feel
You
any
didn't feel
breeze. I hop
anything?
out the house straight in my vehicle straight to the studio. I didn't feel anything.
Jeez, I thought there was somebody sharing my excitement. It was really great this morning. Really, really great. Took some effort to get out of bed. But here with you, bright and early this morning. All right,
Ready.
so yes, you're
Good
ready.
morning to all the listeners. Also remember, interactive program. You can call us 457-9997 or WhatsApp us 457-9994.
And we're also live on Facebook as well as
And YouTube.
All right. So yes, you can always stream us there also. All right, Mister. What's the topic that you wanted to get into?
The Lions Club South public speaking competition.
Oh, that's what we're talking about first. Ari, you just lose me sometimes. So that's not what we had planned, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's first, because if there's anything, we could come back to it after the ads.
Go on, sir. Go on.
But
go on.
I want to hear your opinion on this, Roleza.
Okay, so it's what it is that what upset me a bit was the fact that because over the weekend is when I saw it. There were two videos in particular of two students being circulated on social media. And one of those students, I was actually looking at the live competition when she came up and she made her presentation, right? For those of you who saw the videos, I'm referring to the one who spoke on the topic heat wave. I was supposed to speak on the topic of heat wave. All right. So when I was looking at it, I found it amusing in the sense of in the way in which she reacted to getting the question and not knowing what it was about.
That
right?
heat is heat and wave is wave.
Yes, sir. All right. You have me doing this smackdown thing. Yes. So that.
Heat is heat and wave is wave.
But what disappointed me was the fact that, and I want to believe it was a lot of adults who were sharing the videos in a way that they were ridiculing the children. All right. And I am here saying that this isn't becoming of adults because they're students. So yes, number one, we're going to say that this child might be about 15, 16, 17, maybe at the maximum. And that we're going to assume or take it for granted that she should know what heat wave is.
How old are they?
I guess between 14, 15, 16.
14, 15, 16. Okay.
But Ari, listen to me.
No, I'm holding on to that. I wait until you finish. I'm holding on to that. I wait until you finish.
So my point here, though, Ari, right, is that there are times when, even for us as adults, when we don't know certain things.
That's true.
Right? And what always annoys me is whenever, let's say I'm having a conversation with someone and I say I don't know something and they give me this look like I'm the most stupid person out and they say, but you don't know that? You know, that kind of thing. And the thing is that we would not always know. So yes, while I take the point that this student should have probably known what heat wave was about. The point is she didn't know. You know, and she tried to use up her time and explain herself or she explains in a way that she interpreted it. You know, but the thing of it is that these children are young. And I don't think that it's right for us as adults in particular to mock and to ridicule them.
Okay, Roleza. Good morning. Andy Freitas says good morning to us.
Morning.
Well, she said the young lady don't know what is heat wave. Because heat is heat.
And wave is
and
wave.
Wave is
yes,
wave.
Let me hear what you have
And
to say.
together. I don't know where they be together. No. I read in a story from Searchlight where chairman of the committee, Junior Bacchus, called into a radio program yesterday defending the two females that went viral because of their mistakes in the public speaking competition. Now, while I do agree that we shouldn't be overly ridiculing children, going in on the children on social media, you're between the ages of 14 and 16. I think what happened is a representation, of their preparedness on the topic
Or lack of
and the lack of preparedness and the teachers.
So this is the other extent of it.
Yes.
Right? You also have to question what was the method used to select these students, right?
That was a huge question.
We are making the assumption that they've taken the best student from that particular format from that school to represent the school. I know that when I taught at convent, I don't know if if it still happens that way, but I was an English teacher at convent. And what we did as the different teachers is that for each class, we had an internal debate among our students. There were 3 classes, we had that internal debate. And then from that internal debate, then we had a debate among the 3 classes. And that was how we selected the best student to represent the school. I don't know what method is generally used within the school system to select these students. If I have to go by extension on that point is, we know that the public speaking competition takes place every year at October.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it's not a case where it is sprung upon the schools, it is sprung upon the teachers. And again, to iterate a point that I made before, we don't have enough debating skills taught within our school system. It might just be a topic on the curriculum that you get past, but how much debates actually take place? Because when you look on social media, have you seen the amount of people who put forward an argument without any basis for what they're saying, without any validity?
That is also true. But I went to St. Vincent Grammar School and I taught at St. Martin, and I know that around this time, public speaking time, the English department, the language department, already excited because this is the main event. This is where you get to impart knowledge on students, and you get to see which student is best suited for this position and come out and represent your school.
Yeah, but how do you do the selection?
Now, I don't know how it was selected for the other schools. Maybe one of the listeners could help. Maybe there's a teacher in the mix. I don't know. But clearly the selection process was poor.
But you see, and this is... So we saw 2 students, right? We saw 2
for those 2
students
schools. I don't mean everywhere. Exactly. For those 2 schools.
But our persons to take it as an interpretation that all of the students or the majority of the students. So this is it. So
yeah, I don't think so.
That we highlight the students who may have floundered. Right?
Heat is heat, wave is wave.
Yeah, just leave me alone. Those who may have made their mistakes. Why haven't we also seen the positive students who did very well? Why do we focus on the negativity? Why are we ridiculing?
Right. Let us start with positivity. Congratulations to the students who came out and did their very best and performed well. And those who are going to the finals, congratulations to all of you. Heat is heat and wave is wave.
Yeah, and we could probably highlight the students who have made it through to the finals. Is it there in the article?
Yeah, Janine Stowe, St. Vincent Girls High School, Christian Joseph, St. Vincent Grammar School, Kevisha Richardson, St. Joseph Convent, Kingston, Serene Phillips, Thomas Saunders Secondary School, Rihanna Ross, Mountain View Adventist Academy, and Lisa Robertson, Adelphi Secondary School.
Right. And I think at least one of those, or maybe 2 of those, I saw from the competition itself. Well, the only one that I looked at, but I think sometimes we need to do better as adults in particular.
The only thing I agree with is we shouldn't be pulling down the students.
But this is what happened. This is exactly
what happened. That's the only thing. We shouldn't be attacking the students, especially publicly.
Right, and to see that it went viral and you're seeing adults, and the thing of it is that people make it seem as though public speaking is easy. Remember,
and that's the other thing.
These children are very young. You put an adult, and it's impromptu. It's not even necessarily prepared speech, but impromptu. If I throw a topic out to you, I don't even know. Throw a topic out to you, and you have a minute, I think, to prepare, and 2 minutes to speak. It's not that easy to do. So I was disappointed with the adults in particular who shared those videos. And I know that some persons are looking at it as a reflection. I woke up Sunday morning to a message from a friend in England, and he was commenting on he was saying that it giving the opinion that our students are dunce, but it's not a matter of them
Nah.
being dunce, but you're going to take these two students and look at them and cast a wide net to say that this is a reflection of all of our students.
And you cannot do that. You can't do that. I could understand you like in stupidness, you find it funny. I found it. I still find it funny. Heat is heat, wave is wave.
But that's why
I think
told
it's
you.
funny. But for me to say these students are stupid, I can't do that.
Right.
And it's wrong.
And that's the thing, because when I saw the presentation, the live presentation, I chuckled because I knew that she was just trying to say something on the spot, but she
Yeah.
had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
And I always remember there was an incident a year when a student pulled the topic of blackfish, and she went on to speak about blackfishing. Hold on, let me see if I can find the definition of blackfishing.
Why you look for that? Andy Freitas said, I think those topics were randomly picked. Maybe that's why the children didn't have time to practice or prepare for it.
Yeah, well, that's the impromptu section.
That's the impromptu section, and that's fine.
Yeah, and the thing of it is that with impromptu, what I know that the Lions Club tends to do, they try to pull topics that the students can relate to. So in the case of heat wave, because the place has been very hot, I guess they made the assumption that a child would know because it would have been something.
Yeah,
that was
but I would have
topical at the time.
expected the teachers to prepare them for questions that they don't know what to do when there's a question that you don't know. I think there was one student, I don't think I know the name, but she didn't know the answer to a question that she just looked. She said, I thank you, and she was out of there.
Yeah, we have seen those instances. So I'm going back to the reference of blackfish. So there was a student who pulled the topic blackfish. Maybe it was probably 2 years ago. And she went on about blackfishing. And you could have seen the gasp in the audience, because we are expecting for her to speak about the blackfish that we catch here, that we eat, and which is a bit controversial for some persons, right? So she spoke about blackfishing, and blackfishing is the act of someone who is not black pretending to be black. And I always take that as a moment, as a learning lesson to us sometimes, in that while it is that you may be expecting one answer, a student may know something else about the topic and interpret it differently.
Yeah.
Right? Now, it's not excusing Miss Heatwave, right?
Heat is
But
heat.
the thing of it is that sometimes, we have to do our own research before necessarily mocking and ridiculing the students, because
we shouldn't.
We learned as a society what blackfishing meant in this context.
We shouldn't be attacking the students at any point. You never know what's going to happen in the impromptu section.
Right.
But the teacher should have been preparing the students to handle that.
But that's the thing, the preparation cannot just start, let's say, a week, 2
a
weeks
week from it,
before-
exactly.
Before the actual the actual preliminaries.
And that is why St. Vincent Grammar School, St. Vincent Girls High School, St. Martin's Convent, Thomason, that's why those schools would stay ahead. Who else is in here? Adelphi and some another school. I'm not sure. But that is why these schools would be ahead, because they would start their preparations early.
But the other thing too, I think it even goes back a little further than, let's say, because it sounds as if we're putting all of the onus on teachers for the preparation.
I blame the teachers.
Well, what about the parents?
How many parents
sit down and read with their children, right? So ensure that their pronunciations of words are correct.
Yeah.
How many parents actually say, okay, well, I know that you can have ebooks, but sometimes if you put a child in front of a device, they're not necessarily going to be doing what you ask them to do, which might be reading a book. They might be
true.
Conversing with their friends.
That is true.
So how many of them as parents say, well, let me buy a book for your birthday instead, to encourage reading? Because it also goes back to that. You gain knowledge from listening to the news. You're not going to necessarily gain knowledge from all of these 30-minute viral clips that go around. How much knowledge are you actually going to gain? You know,
Okay.
even apart from the pronunciation of words, the writing styles for children. Because when my niece types for me on WhatsApp, she has to use standard English. There is no short her written work in school. You know, so even as parents, guardians, we also have to play our part in preparing our students. If a child proposes a particular point to you as a parent, it's no longer because you're a parent, what you say has to go, right? But allow the students to put forward or your child to put forward a counter discussion, proposing valid points, and you know you have that discussion going on in that way. So
Well,
it's a lot more than just putting everything onto the teachers.
well, it's a topic we have to continue in the next segment at 8. But remember, heat is heat and wave is wave. We pay some
Wait, what did you
bills and we
say?
going
Wait, no, no,
straight
no, no,
into
no.
traffic talk. We pay some bills and we're going straight into traffic talk. Good morning, civils and the grenadines.
Make your move with Quartz Radicash and get a payment holiday for the holidays. Plus,